She walked into my hospital room like she owned the place. I was still stitched up. Tubes in my arm. A dull ache crawling through my side where they'd carved me open. Behind her stood a tall man in a black suit. Polished shoes. No emotion. She didn't cry. She didn't thank me. She dropped the divorce papers on my chest. "I can't do this anymore," she said, flat, practiced. The paper slid down to my stomach, right over the bandages. I stared at her. The woman I'd loved for 7 years. The woman whose mother now carried my kidney inside her. And I smiled, because she had no idea. When her mother got sick, I didn't hesitate. End-stage renal failure. Doctors said she had months. My wife cried in my arms that night, shaking, begging God, begging me. "I can't lose her," she whispered. I told her we'd test compatibility. We were a match. She looked at me like I was a miracle. For weeks, she treated me like gold. Cooked my favorite meals. Sat beside me at every appointment. Held my hand during pre-op consultations. I mistook performance for love. I mistook desperation for devotion. But something shifted 2 weeks before surgery. She started stepping outside to take calls. Late-night messages she'd flip her phone over to hide. Smiles that didn't belong to me. I told myself I was paranoid. Stress does strange things to people. Then one evening she forgot to hang up. I heard a man's voice through the half-open bathroom door. Deep, confident. "You won't need him much longer," he said. Silence. Then her voice, soft, intimate. I know. That was the moment I stopped being a husband and started becoming a strategist. I didn't confront her. I didn't argue. I went to my lawyer instead. A quiet, meticulous woman who didn't blink when I told her everything. We hired a private investigator. Within 10 days, I had photos. Hotel entrances, hand-holding, kisses in parking lots. The man in the black suit. His name was Armin, financial consultant. Recently divorced. Heavy debt, and suddenly very interested in my wife's inheritance. Her mother owned 3 properties and a sizable investment portfolio. I was the obstacle. Not just emotionally, legally. You see, my wife had convinced her mother to update her will 6 months ago. I was added as a co-beneficiary. For security, she'd said. She didn't realize I read every document I signed. If her mother passed away while we were married, I'd control half the estate. If we divorced before that, I'd walk away with nothing. So they needed me generous, noble, organ-donating and disposable. I went through with the surgery. Of course I did. But here's what she didn't know. 3 weeks before the operation, I signed a different document. A post-nuptial agreement. She'd signed it too, distracted, trusting. I framed it as protection in case surgery complications left me disabled. Buried inside was a clause. Any proven infidelity would void her sole claim to marital assets and trigger an immediate division, heavily favoring the wronged party. My lawyer made sure it was airtight. While I was in surgery, my investigator was finalizing a digital folder. Videos, messages, bank transfers between her and Armin. Yes, bank transfers. She'd already started moving money from our joint account. Sloppy. Greed makes people impatient. So when she stood in my hospital room, divorce papers in hand, I wasn't surprised. Armin stepped forward. "It's best if you sign. We want this clean." I let the silence stretch. Then I reached to the drawer beside my bed and pulled out my own folder. "I agree," I said calmly. "Let's make it clean." Her eyebrows twitched. I slid the documents toward her. She skimmed the first page. Her face drained of color. "What is this?" she whispered. "Evidence," I replied. "And a post-nup you already signed." Armin's jaw tightened. "This is ridiculous." "No," I said. "This is thorough." I explained it slowly. How the clause worked. How the infidelity nullified her financial protections. How the evidence would hold up beautifully in court. "And since you initiated divorce after documented adultery," I added, "the settlement won't be kind to you." She started shaking. "You planned this?" she asked. I looked at the bandages on my side. "No," I said softly. "You did." Armin tried to regain control. "We'll fight this," I nodded. "Please do. The recordings will be public record. That did it." He stepped back. She collapsed into the chair beside my bed, papers slipping from her fingers. "You donated your kidney," she said, almost to herself. "Why would you still—" I leaned closer, wincing slightly from the stitches. "Because saving your mother had nothing to do with you." That was the part she never understood. I loved her mother. She treated me like a son, and here's the final. Twist, her mother survived, and when she recovered enough to learn About the divorce? She asked to see the evidence. I didn't sugarcoat it. 2 weeks later, she amended her will again. My wife was removed entirely. Every property, every account. Gone, her mother called me personally. I may have lost a daughter, she said quietly, but I won't lose my dignity. The divorce finalized in 4 months. I walked away with the house, the majority of our assets, and peace. Armand disappeared once the money dried up. I heard through mutual acquaintances that debts have a way of resurfacing. As for my ex-wife, she tried to apologize once. Cried, said she made a mistake. I listened. Then I hung up. Sometimes revenge isn't loud. It isn't violent. It's surgical. Precise. Like removing something toxic from your body and stitching yourself back together. She thought she had taken my strength. But the truth? The kidney I gave wasn't the only thing I had. What she never realized was that my real power had always been my patience. And that's something you can't transplant.